Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Ross, and this is my video for our assignment, Family Culture Show and Tell. I am from Mexico. My maiden name is Jessica Contreras. I moved to the U.S. when I was 7 with my dad, my mom, and my 2 younger sisters. Being the oldest meant that I was the first one to go through everything, so I was the first one to start kindergarten here. The first one to have to learn English, and had my share of embarrassing stories for that, while my sisters got to learn from me going through this, so it was a lot easier for them. But even though we've been here for a little over 20 years now, our Mexican culture and our race has always been a big part of us ever since, and still is. One of our major things, our traditions, is birthdays. We always do something every single year for every single person in our family. When we had our extended family here, all of our cousins and everything, we would all get together. We would have carne asada. Depending on whose birthday it was, it would depend on whose house we went to. We would have games, we'd do karaoke or something, sing happy birthday. Of course, we do a cake smash, and then presents. As we got older, presents weren't really such a big thing anymore. It was mostly like having the happy birthday, the cake, and then we would go out and do something. Especially the cake face smash was the main event. The cake face smash is something that starts when you're like super young, and it goes on every single year no matter how old we get. That's a picture of my mom in her cake face smash on her birthday, and as you can see, I got her really good. So as I was saying, it's tradition. So through the years, our family went through the regular life circle stages. My sisters and myself, we moved out, we got married, we have kids, but no matter what was going on in the family, we always got together for each one of our birthdays. We always did something, even if it wasn't a huge thing, something was going to happen. So, and that's something that we still do today, and it's something that I have brought from my culture and my family and into my new family from getting married and having kids. And that's just a funny meme that I found on Google that is like perfect. Another thing that's really big in my family is card games. So ever since I can remember, my family has always loved playing cards, whether it was what we call Mexican poker, because it's played differently, loteria, which is like it's like Mexican bingo. Whatever it was, we would get together at the table, bust out some type of cards, and we would play. Sometimes we would start early and go super late, but we would still be there until somebody won that game. And we never pass up a chance to play, no matter how tired we are, whether it's a work day or whatever's happening the next day, we're gonna play. And so those are 2 Snapchat pictures. I couldn't find more recent ones, but those are pretty recent. It's the blue cards are my hand at Mexican poker, which is a very amazing hand and very hard to get. And then the other pictures with my mom, we're playing loteria, which we do play with money, but it's usually just coins and nothing serious. My husband, Tay, he's from Detroit, Michigan. He moved to Georgia when he was 13. His family loves parties, especially his mom and dad. They have cookouts like regularly, several times a week. Any occasion or non-occasion, just to have people over and cook for them, they absolutely love that. Tay specifically isn't too much into birthdays. He doesn't really care about them, especially when it comes to his own. Like, it's not a big deal for him, and that's just something that that hasn't been a big deal to him since he was younger. However, he does love card games, and specific spades. He's super competitive in like every game. but this is like the main one. He takes it super seriously and he loves to play it. And it's actually one of the first things that we did together when we started dating. He taught me how to play because I had no idea. But he absolutely loves the game. It has strategy, you gotta have brain power, you gotta be paying attention. It's one of his absolute favorites. Another part that he brings is Thanksgiving. My family does not celebrate Thanksgiving. It's not a thing in Mexico, really. We don't have that historical background for this. So it's not really something that I bring, but he definitely brings that from his family and his culture. We alternate major holidays with our families. So one year will be Thanksgiving, the other year is Christmas with somebody, but we always alternate. And when we have it with his family, it's a huge event. There's lots of food, lots of people. Tay makes a sweet potato souffle, which everybody really loves. And sometimes, every few years, my birthday actually falls on Thanksgiving Day. So that's pretty crazy too. So coming together, building our own family meant bringing what was important to each of us together. So birthdays are always celebrated. Even when Tay isn't super excited about his, I always make something happen. I've been able to surprise him several years, which is awesome. Thanksgiving is something that we just celebrate depending on which family we're with. Even if we're with my family for that year, we still get together, but we don't like make turkey or anything like that. But when we do celebrate it with Tay's family, it is a big holiday and we say grace and what we're thankful for, and we just enjoy each other's company. Cards and games are something that are important to both of us. So we do have game nights, like whenever we can. We either host it at our house, or if we happen to be at my mom's or a friend. Usually our friends also love game nights, so it is something that we do fairly often. Food is something that we have also integrated. Tay's family, his dad especially, is super famous for their delicious barbecue, jerk chicken, and mac and cheese. And my family sometimes will make carne asada, tamales, arroz con leche, or some other type of Mexican dish. Tay has actually perfected a homemade tres leches cake, which is, it was really hard at first and it took several tries, but it is absolutely amazing and super addicting. Movies are also something that are super important to both of us, and it's one of our favorite things to do. So we definitely incorporated that into our family together. This is our family, the Rosses. My husband Tay's in the corner, then me, then my son Liam, and then our daughter Isabel. The picture of Tay's when he graduated from the fire academy in May. He recently just finished precepting, so he's officially a firefighter for Gwinnett. And that was a really hard time for him too, but this is us. Starting them early. So as you can see, that's a picture of Isabel at the movies. We bought her some earmuffs so that she'd be able to go with us and sleep, which she usually does. But there is the occasional time when she might not sleep and she'll just be chilling there with us watching it. Liam has always been a part of us also. He's always been around, obviously, because he's ours. So this is a video of him playing Go Fish with us at Christmas last year.
Hey Liam, you got any tools over there?
Go fish.
You got tools, Liam.
You got two? Oh, you got three of them.
Oops. That's just a little clip from Snapchat, but he loves playing. Whenever he sees us play, he's like, oh, I can play too. So he's already taking after us.
Hey Liam, you got any tools over there?
All right, biracial, which is the whole point of my PowerPoint. I had two articles. The first article, Herring, 1995, he states biracial is just being a genetic mixture. So two or more different races coming together. He referred to it as coming together through coupling, since not everyone gets married. My family, of course, is a mixture of Black and Mexican, so our kids are Blaxican, if you will. It was hard enough for me to find my identity being Mexican, but being raised in the U.S. for over the majority of my life, and then with the racial tensions, and things like that happening in this country, people also have the mindset that you can't be both things, that you have to choose one. And that was hard for me too, saying like, oh, you're not Mexican, you're white, especially because I don't look Mexican. So that's always been hard too. I want to help my children as they grow up. They're going to have an even harder time since they are actually mixed. So forming their biracial identities is something that I want to nurture and help them develop. I don't want them to think that they have to be one or the other, or that they don't fit in. They're mixed, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's our jobs as parents to instill in them the self-confidence, the knowledge, and security in themselves, to not let other people label them or let their labels and judgment impact them. My other article is Pasta, 1990. He defined racial identity development as pride in one's racial and cultural identity. He stated it's one of the most important issues in counseling and cross-cultural psychology, since it's linked to various indicators of mental health in ethnic minorities. Some races or cultures don't even believe in things like counseling, so it's definitely important to have information on this. He provided two reasons why racial identity development is important. It helps shapes individuals' attitudes about themselves, about the individuals in their same ethnic or racial groups, attitudes about the individuals from other racial ethnic groups, and attitudes about the individuals in the majority group. It also helps eliminate the cultural conformity myth that all individuals from a particular minority group are the same, with the same attitudes and preferences. He also supports in his article my hope and goal for helping my kids with their biracial identities. He states that teaching parents skills that promote the formation of a healthy self-concept and providing the child with biracial label and teaching them about their multi-ethnic backgrounds and emphasizing the positive aspects of each ethnic group, it's useful and beneficial as intervention for them not to have issues later on with their identity. He listed some positive outcomes from having knowledge about biracial populations. It increases our knowledge of diversity of life courses and development process that people experience. It increases our understanding of the importance of modifying existing counseling methods so that they're sensitive to the diversity. And it can help us reduce the number of obstacles that are more likely to happen in the identity development process of biracial individuals. In his article, he states that while some people are successful in navigating through familial and societal obstacles, others aren't. And it's those that aren't that can benefit from counselors who are knowledgeable about the cultures and previous biracial development models. So these are just some examples of biracial or identity people. One of the main ones is Selena. She is Mexican American, and I found this clip that reminded me from the video of how hard it is to be both Mexican and American. Forgetting, just adding another culture to, like another race to the mix, just the fact that we're both is hard. So this relates more to what I was saying about my own identity struggles.
Gig in Monterrey, Mexico.
Dad, that would be so cool.
I'm not sure of that right now.
Come on, Dad.
Hey, Dad, you always said everything's a risk, right?
They don't accept us with it. They never have.
Hello, we're Mexican.
No, we are Mexican American, and they don't like Mexican
That's
American.
all the same.
And they can be mean, and they can tear us apart over there. Selena's Spanish is
What about my Spanish? I've been singing in Spanish for 10 years. It's perfect.
Singing, yes, but when you speak it a little funny. And down there, you gotta speak perfectly, or the press will eat you up and spit you out alive. I've seen them do it.
Overreacting as usual.
Dad, the music will speak for itself, Dad.
Listen, being Mexican-American is tough. Anglos jump all over you if you don't speak English perfectly. Mexicans jump all over you if you don't speak Spanish perfectly. We gotta be twice as perfect as anybody else. Why are you laughing? What's so funny?
Nothing.
I'm serious.
I know
Our
you're
family
serious,
has
Dad.
been here for centuries, and yet they treat us as if we just swam across the Rio Grande. I mean, we gotta know about John Wayne and Pedro Infante. We gotta know about Frank Sinatra and Agustin Lara. We gotta know about Oprah and Christina. Anglo food is too bland, and yet when we go to Mexico, we get the runs. Now that to me is embarrassing.
Dad!
Japanese Americans, Italian Americans, German Americans, their homeland is on the other side of the ocean. Ours is right next door, right over there. And we gotta prove to the Mexicans how Mexican we are, and we gotta prove to the Americans how American we are. We gotta be more Mexican than the Mexicans, and more American than the Americans, both at the same time. It's exhausting. Man, nobody knows how tough it is to be a Mexican American.
Well, Dad, you know, it's a good thing we have frijoles and tortillas to keep our strength up for the job.
Now you're making
No, I'm not. A menudo.
Hey, menudo, hey.
Menudo.
now you're making me hungry.
Come on, Dad. I can do it. I know I can. Really.
Trust us.
Listen, guys, let's get through with the tour in California, and then we'll talk about it.
That is a great movie, by the way, but it is definitely something that I related to a lot, just with my own identity struggle, being Mexican and being here, and so I thought that was perfect. Now, Kid Cudi is actually Blaxican, as I mentioned earlier. His mom is African American, and his dad is Mexican and Native American. And Miguel the singer, he's also, his dad is Mexican American and his mom is African American. So that and the fact that he lived in Los Angeles, that helped with his music career and the type of music that he does now. And that's it. These are my references. Thank you.